Delusional self-belief is one of the most overpowered traits for an athlete to have. There are two big problems with it, which I'll get into in a sec. But first, let's define what it is. The best example I know is Jordan Kilgannon. He really wanted to be a professional basketball dunker. In the early 2010s, it wasn't really a thing. He grew up in a small town you've probably never heard of. No natural talent. Not a lot of people believed in him, thought that he should go to school. He dropped out of school to focus on dunking, and now he's the best of all time, very successful.
I really wanted to do this dunking thing, and I've had a lot of people tell me to stop and that it wasn't worth it. I wasn't even close to being good enough to be a pro yet, right? I was such a unrealistic goal.
Another good example, let's imagine you have two co-founders. They've been working on a company for 5 years, not really seeing any returns. One of the co-founders decides to quit and go get a corporate job. The other co-founder is obsessed with making this idea work. 5 years on, company's worth $100 million. At this point, I'm gonna bring up the first issue, which is survivorship bias. If you get 1 million people with lofty goals and delusional self-belief and 100 of them succeed, it's not a great mentality for the rest of the people. My optimistic take is that you shouldn't play it safe with your one life, and even if you fall short of your lofty goals, you will become a better person along the way. Anyways, this video is inspired by a comment about how to actually use delusional self-belief for your benefit, potentially in an athletic context, since that's what most of this channel is about. I don't know if you actually can increase or use delusional self-belief because it is a byproduct of want. You want something so badly that you're willing to overlook obvious evidence that you probably won't get it. The good news is that I think there's another aspect to delusional self-belief, which is resiliency. So you have want times resiliency, and you might be able to develop resiliency. Because I'm not just gonna tell you to want something more. Your base level of want can plant a seed for resiliency, specifically to the damage of your perception of your ability to achieve your goals. You could have a high want person with low self-esteem and their delusion is gonna get crushed really easily. So how would you go about increasing resiliency? Resiliency is heavily impacted by your response to failure, which is up to you. Over time, you can imagine that all of your responses to failure compound into almost a report card. And you know in the back of your head what your responses have been. If you know you're a quitter, there will be no delusional self-belief. A great thing about resilience as a part of delusional self-belief is that you don't actually need to succeed. If any of you grew up shooting a basketball in the driveway, you might have imagined yourself shooting a game-winning shot and then missed, and then be like, no, run it back. And then missed again, and then be like, no, another time. And then eventually you hit the shot, you imagine yourself hitting the game winner. That is feeding into your helpful delusion.